Hi, the topic today is how to be highly effective, and I'm focusing on challenging the coronavirus, COVID-19. So I'm really in isolation, but I really love it. So today I was kind of going through my diary. So I came across where I've written in Sirach, Sirach 20:30. What it's saying is that the wisdom that is not expressed is like a treasure that has been hidden. Both are useless. I say it again because this passage inspired me, and as soon as I came across it, I said, look, I'm going to do a video today. So it says, wisdom that is not expressed is like a treasure that has been hidden. Both are useless. So we are actually the wisdom that God has expressed. But if we don't use it and then we die, then it becomes useless. So the aim of this video today is challenge everybody to use the treasure, the wisdom God has given to you. Because this wisdom needs to be used. People need it somewhere, somehow. Like what I'm going to say today, it will, ignite, the spirit of creativity in other people. Because the message is very, very important that when you hear it, it kind of fire you up in a great way. So the treasure, the essence of this life is for you to use your gifts, for you to use the treasure. You are the treasure God has, hidden. And you are the wisdom God has expressed. He wants you to use it. So if everybody's using the wisdom God has given to him, then the world will be, at peace. The world will be, will be comfortable wherever we are. Because God has made the world perfect, and has created us, in his own image, and has made us, giving us wisdom according to his own gift, according to what is given to us, according to our capability. So it is necessary that you use the wisdom God has given to you. The treasure is in you. You are God's treasure. So when it's been, and this treasure has been expressed in you. So it is very, very important for you to understand this before we start. Now, you see, the fear is a big problem. And today, everybody is afraid. People are scared of the coronavirus, COVID-19. Everybody's, in isolation. People are hiding. People are, obeying the rules and regulation, which is right. Making sure you stay with the social distance. But the key thing is for you to understand that we cannot be afraid of anything in life. You see, I'm going to give you two stories. One is about the Goliath, and two about Farrakhan, what he said. These stories will illustrate that challenge do not exist. Well, if I say challenge not existing, it makes it, some people will be laughing and say, what does this guy mean? What do I mean? But what I mean is that it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but it has no basis. It has no originality. And until you understand this, you will not know that every challenge is up for you to conquer. So any problem you can envisage, you are capable of solving it. Whether it's financial problem, relationship problem, business problem, you want to have money or whatever thing you want, you are capable of solving it. You are capable of, being in control of it. We are not created to be defeated by anything. So, but if you understand what I'm going to say now, it will help you to bring a picture, a powerful image inside their mind that you gonna, you start using the potentials you already possess. You start using the gifts you got in order to solve the problem. For instance, we have the coronavirus now. So it is, we've been having a lot of problems. But this challenge, this kind of war is different. It's a different kind of war. So, and this war has made everybody to recline, to hide in his bedroom or in his house. And you are not coming out. That is the kind of fear that the people of Israelites were receiving from Goliath. So they were being threatened from 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning, Goliath had started announcing, speaking to the ears of the Israelites that, look, I am going to consume you. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to give you to the best of the earth. I'm going to tear your body. I'm going to scatter. I'm going to maim. And these are dangerous words. Sending shock wave and panic wave to the spines of the people. The same thing the coronavirus is doing to us. So now, when David had this, in fact, before then, the soldiers were already hiding. They couldn't move. They couldn't do anything. Just like people now are paralyzed, we don't know what to do about coronavirus. We simply don't know what to do. It's causing mayhem, it's menacing us, it's causing havoc. So this is exactly the way it was happening to the Israelites about 4,000 years ago. Now, there came a young man called David. So when David came to the battle to bring food to the brothers, now he overheard this kind of alarm. He overheard Goliath speaking, cursing, bringing, trying to bring down the people of Israelites, people of God. Now, but David, behind this, David knew that this kind of voice was coming from the powerless one. It was an empty threat coming from the powerless one. Empty threat coming from the powerless one. Because any other thing that brings fear is not God. He knew that there is only thing that should bring fear in a human being, that is God. But any other creation that is bringing fear, that is false. So wherever you are, anything that brings fear to you that is not God is false. And that's why I say challenge does not exist. Because challenge is like a mirage, it's like a falsehood. It doesn't exist. It's like a cloud. It's like a mirage. Because there is only one thing that brings fear to man, and that is God. And coronavirus, as far as we know, is not God. So that one is solved. So that chapter is closed. So coronavirus is not God, and therefore cannot bring fear and panic to humanity. So when Goliath was doing this, David knew that this is empty threat. It can't be possible. Because he saw Goliath. Goliath wasn't God. And he was uttering word against God himself. And this young man decided to annihilate or obliterate the Goliath. So people were surprised to say, look, you are an untrained soldier. You're going to face this man who has trained for 30 years. How are you going to do it? And besides, he's a giant of a man. Almost close to 10 feet tall, more than 10 feet tall. So how are you going to do it? But because he was convinced himself that the word of God said it is only God that you should fear. So any other thing is no longer God. That means any other thing you could conquer, including coronavirus, including health problem, including your financial problem, including any other thing. So that was how David destroyed and maimed Goliath. So anything that generates fear in us is a lie. If you're having a health problem and you're afraid of it, that thing is not God. It doesn't exist. Because there's only thing that exists, that is God. There is no other thing that is in existence except God. When we come to reality of life. That's why Albert Einstein that reality is an illusion, and a persistent illusion. Because most of the things you are seeing are illusions. They bring panic. So if you're able to separate these things, then you will not be afraid of anything, including your dreams, including your vision. People might say you're not going to achieve it, but you know that there is only one thing that is above everything, and that is the power of God. So when you align with God, your problems are solvable. You will solve it, definitely. So coronavirus is menacing people. And I'm advising people now that, look, with this message I'm releasing today, with the story of Goliath, how I'm bringing it out, now if you apply it to it, then we will come out on the other side successful. We will destroy coronavirus. All it matters is studying it. Then the second story is Farrakhan. So Farrakhan told a story about fear of God, about fear. Now, I'm going to read out some of the things today. Now, first of all, he said, if God made you in his own image and his likeness, then he has made you God. That's what he's saying. That there is nothing that can make God afraid. Remember, there is nothing that can make God afraid. There is nothing in creation that can make God afraid. Can God be afraid of his creation? No. So there is nothing in creation that can make God afraid. That is the first and fundamental statement. And then the next one is that God has made you in his own image and likeness. That means he has made you God, so long as you align with him. So there is nothing in creation that can make you afraid. Whether it is terrorists, or whether it's coronavirus, or whether it's money, or whether it's car, there is nothing in creation that is capable of making you afraid, because God created us in his own image and empowered us. So God can never be afraid of creation. Now, so if you're afraid of anything in creation, you cannot master it. So the story goes like this. One day, he went out into, he was walking out. So as he was walking out, he ran into, not even, as he was walking out, he saw a bull. That bull was around 100 meters away, just like a field, the distance from one field to the other, from beginning of one field to the end of the field, the playing ball, the football field. So when he saw this thing, and the bull was coming straight towards the side he was coming, so the bull was at the end of the field and he was at the other end, so they were coming in opposite, in the opposite direction. So at about 20 meters close to each other, the bull, stop, and Farrakhan stopped, and the Farrakhan looked at the bull, and the bull looked at Farrakhan, and then begin to burrow the ground and started making noise, coming towards Farrakhan. And Farrakhan was terrified. He became afraid. But luckily for him, he remembered what Elijah Muhammad said, that there is nothing in creation that can make man afraid. There is nothing in creation that is worth fearing. Immediately this word came into him, Farrakhan became stronger and got courage and started walking the same side with the bull. And as the bull was coming, he was coming. It got to a point about 10 meters away. The bull saw that Farrakhan was not ready to give up. Farrakhan was coming with courage. And then the bull ran away. Because in nature, all creation was told, all creations were told by God that they are to serve human beings. So by nature, the bull knew that his master was around. But the problem is that Farrakhan at that time didn't know. It was only the time he remembered the word, the story the Muhammad Elijah told him, that he became motivated and he restored, the fear disappeared. So anything in creation should not make us afraid. Because if something in creation makes us afraid, then how can we master it? We are created to master everything, from the ants that cross to the stars in the universe. God has given everything to us to master. So coronavirus is something worth mastering. It is something we have to master. It's not something we have to be afraid. If you want to climb Mount Everest, the mountain is big there. What you have to do is you sit back and study the mountain, study the topography, study the temperature, study everything, study the wind direction. Then once you have concluded your study, you go up. The same thing applies to every other thing. See, we've been in different wars. This one is a bigger war. It's a bigger war, the coronavirus. What we have to do is to master it, study it. It's not something we have to wash hands off and say, well, we have no solution to it. God has given us solution to everything. He has given us everything to master. So that thing that is making you, afraid, if you're afraid of something, there's no way you can master it. If you are scared of anything, there's no way you can master it. There's no way you can study it. So when you are afraid, you are restricting yourself the possibility of studying something. So when we are afraid of coronavirus, we have restricted ourselves the opportunity of studying it in the lab and see how to differentiate the virus and the other genomes or our DNA and other things in our body system. So it's all about being courageous, because what you're afraid, you cannot study, you cannot master. Meanwhile, God said you got to master everything. One moment. One of the key things I'm saying here today is the act of mastering. If you're afraid of Goliath, you cannot master Goliath. If you're afraid of coronavirus, you cannot master it. I'm not saying that you have to be stupid as to walk into the coronavirus lab and then started inhaling or exposing yourself to it. The thing is that people who are in the science or the field of studying it should study it. They shouldn't be afraid of it, because there is nothing to be feared in this world. So there is simply nothing to be afraid of, because God has given us all the whole power, because He made us in His likeness and His image. And the question that always comes is, can God be afraid of creation? No. God cannot be afraid of what He created. So, that is why the thing God left with us is His own image. And that image translates in you mastering everything, challenges, obstacles, different things in your life. Instead of being timid, instead of being scared, instead of, not paying attention to it. Timidity, do not help us to solve a problem. So because this coronavirus is here to, to to stop us from proceeding, to stop us from conquering the world God has told us to conquer. It's trying to give us boundary. It's trying to, create a perception and give us boundary. And this boundary is creating and perception do not exist. It's like a mirage. It's like a bubble. The bubble, you see it, but you go near it, burst. So the same way, the challenge, it has no foundation. So the essence of this video is to knock off anything you think that is, constituting fear in your life. Whether it's health crisis, whether it's coronavirus, whether it's money, whether it is leadership, all these things cannot afford to make you be scared. All you need to do is go to the drawing board and study it. So, because God asks us to be in control of everything. How do we become in control of everything in creation? Is to study it and master it. Like now, the art of speaking. Some people would prefer to die than to come out and speak. But they don't know that speaking is very easy. It's like A, B, C, D. You have to master it. When somebody is asking you to read A, B, C, D, it's very difficult at the beginning. But at the time you master it, it becomes easy. The same thing applies to any other thing. If you want to become an aeronautic engineer or a doctor, or you want to become an artist, all you need is to study it and master it. So why are we scared of something in creation? God said we should not, because he handed us the key to everything. So the story of the Goliath, David and Goliath, illustrates that there is nothing in creation that can destroy, that can make us to be afraid, or that can destroy the human spirit. The human spirit is the same spirit God possesses. There's nothing that can destroy human spirit. So long as you are attached to the wisdom of God, like I said, you see, the wisdom, we are God's wisdom expressed. But if we don't use it, our body and everything becomes useless. Like now, I have this knowledge. If I don't come out and say it and I die, I'm useless. So that's why I'm inspired today to come on the Facebook to say this thing live, to say it, to express it, because it's a wisdom God has given to me. It is and you and I are express wisdom of God, and this express wisdom of God needs to be used. They are not meant to be hidden. They are not meant to be, conserved. They are meant to be brought to the fore. They are meant to be used so that, so that there'll be light in the world, so that people can have peace of mind, so that we can overcome our challenges and problems. And as I'm speaking now, I know that there is somebody who might be in the lab, or who might be somebody who is hearing my voice. And this voice will inspire the person to go further, to master. But probably coronavirus, to master in order to master what it's doing. And once you master it, you've overcome it. So the act is mastering it, not afraid of it. Because when you are afraid of something, you've limited yourself. You've restricted yourself the power to be in control. And then we accept the choice and the boundary they're giving to us. So coronavirus is a challenge, and we have to challenge it. It comes in form of a challenge, but we can overcome it. We shouldn't be afraid of it. Not only corona, everything in life, including health problems. I've been to this kind of problems. I've had it, and my understanding told me that I shouldn't be afraid of anything. Because once you're afraid of something, the thing kills you. Once you're afraid of something, the thing obliterates you. Look at Elijah. Look at Farrakhan. Farrakhan was walking towards the bull, and the bull was making noise, coming straight to him. And then Farrakhan became afraid, but he remembered the word of God, or word of Elijah. Then he became strong and started moving towards the bull. before it gets to about 3 meters, the bull ran away. So if Farrakhan didn't muster courage, didn't inspire himself, didn't move forward, the bull would just kill him. So the bull will now understand that you are a novice. You don't know the power you possess. So the same way, the devil will come to you. So if you don't know the word of God, you give it, and the devil will destroy you. It's not God that destroys you. It's lack of knowledge that destroys a person. What kills people is lack of knowledge. That's why God said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Because if you have knowledge, now, coronavirus cannot kill you. Coronavirus cannot overpower you. Because the knowledge is you go and study it. The knowledge is that you stay in quarantine till when the time passes. The knowledge is that you maintain social distance. The knowledge is that you don't have to go to work now unless it's necessary. You stay indoors till this time. So with knowledge, nothing can happen to you. So that's why it is very, very crucial for us to understand, for us to have knowledge. Because once you have knowledge, then every other thing could be defeated. So our problem is clearly, I'm seeing Prince in Hanato. So the clear thing is this: your ability to master something. So if you're afraid of something, you cannot master that thing. You are limiting yourself. We are not meant to be afraid of anything in the universe. Because every other thing God has handed over to us. The question again I'm putting, can God be afraid of creation? Answer me. I believe you know that God cannot be afraid of anything in creation. So, and God has made you in his likeness and his image. That means literally God has made you like himself. So why are you afraid of anything in creation? The only thing that you should be afraid is God. But God is not a creation. Mind you. God is not a creation. So coronavirus is a creation. The stars are creation. The moon are creation. People are creation. Ambition are creation. Everything is a creation. The only thing you can be afraid of is God. And that fear of God, what it does to you is for you to master something. You see, the fear of God in you will help you to understand that there is no other thing that you have to be afraid except God. And any other thing in creation, you cannot be afraid. Rather, you master it. So if you don't know how to make money, you just study how to make money. If you don't know how to plan something, you just study how to plan it. If you don't know how to write a book, you just study. Everything is about studying it and mastering it. So we have nothing to be afraid of. The story of David and Goliath, I've used it to bring up so that you understand that coronavirus is not something we're supposed to be afraid of. It's something we have to go into the lab to study it and produce a vaccine that can destroy it. Already, people are doing it. You know, so somewhere in Madagascar, they've gotten a medicine and other things. So this is what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be afraid of anything because fear restricts us. So I'm gonna wind down now. Our topic today is challenging the coronavirus. We are not supposed to be afraid of anything. Because fear itself destroys our capability to do great things. And like I said, there is nothing to be feared in creation. All we have to do is to master it. And be given the opportunity to master it. Thank you.